Okay, let's talk about the balance changes of the new season. First up, we have Mystifiers. It consists of Basted and Dullahan. So the Basted buff is not that impactful. The numbers are significant. So the original effect was there was a 25% chance to double the number of road stacks applied by your team. And the new effect is 75%. But the problem with Mystifier is that they don't have the ability to survive long enough for their corrode damage to stack up. So Mystifier is built around the damage over time. So as they cast their ability, you apply the corrode to the enemies, but the corrode need to stack up. So essentially, your team need to have a really high survivability, and right now the only Mystifier team that can do that is the Monarch Mystifier team. So based unless there's a Mystifier heroes that can increase the health or defense of the whole team by a lot, the only viable Mystifier build is still this one, the Monarch Mystifier team. So the balance changes of Basted isn't that impactful, but Dullahan's buff is really impactful because Dullahan is already part of the Monarch Mystifier team. He's already really good. And one problem with Dullahan is he's a Mystifier, but he cannot apply corrode. Now, his skill 1 and skill 2 all has the ability to apply 2 sets of corrode on the target. And that's really good because Dullahan himself already have the ability to increase the limit of corrode stack by 5. Dullahan is self-sufficient now because he can increase the limit of corrode stack and he can apply corrode himself. And when enemy has deep buff, which includes corrode, he has a chance to taunt enemy. So now Dullahan is I would say he's a good hero now, like not just a hero that you use because he's part of the Monarch Mystifier team. So yeah, this is a really good buff to Dullahan and also a buff to this team when this team is already pretty strong. So you can get Dullahan in the Abyss shop, and before that there's question whether you should get Telenas or Dullahan. Now I think everyone should just get Dullahan because he got buff and he's pretty good now. And he's part of the Monarch Mystifier team that's useful all the way to late game. Also, another thing is now you want to always duplicate Dullahan's ability, so you want to place Talos before Dullahan, either Talos in the front, Dullahan in the back, or like just place Talos in a position where he casts before Dullahan. The reason is Astrid can duplicate the second ultimate your unit cast. So you want Talos to cast his ultimate first and duplicate Dullahan's ultimate because now Dullahan's ultimate is better as it applied corrode. Before this change, it's actually debatable whether you should duplicate Dullahan or Talos because Talos can apply shield while Dullahan can do the taunt. But now he can also do the corrode, so make sure to put Dullahan after Talos so that his ultimate getting duplicated in the Monarch Mystifier team. Yeah, and that's for the Mystifiers. And for the Valiantors, Nyx and Ashlyn got buff. Yeah, finally Ashlyn got buff. But unfortunately, this buff isn't that good because it it increases her healing, which is not nothing, but it's not gonna make her good. So yeah, this Ashlyn buff doesn't do anything. Nyx buff actually is impactful because Nyx is already quite good and now she's better, but it's increasing the damage of her ultimate. And from my observation, he's already one-shotting most people with her ultimate. So that isn't that impactful in PvP, but in some boss fight where you use Nyx as your main carry, then this is impactful. Maybe you're stuck on some of the stages, and now you can pass because of this next buff. Okay, moving on to the Ethereals. Now 11 is getting buffed again. So 11's passive skill, this one, has been enhanced, skill 3. The original effect was 30% chance to gain Awaken and 1 stack of Sanctuary when ally triggers a critical hit. The updated effect is 50% chance. And the Awaken bonus effect has been increased from 200% to 400%. Yeah, this is a quite significant buff. Now Yularen is even better now. She's already pretty good with Eudora, and now, well, I still think she's only useful with Eudora because Eudora is the only hero that can have multiple instances of damage and in Ethereals and therefore triggering this ability reliably. And this is a problem with Ethereal is that you have to have Eudora to make it Ethereals good. No matter how you buff Ethereals, you need Eudora. And Eudora don't need Ethereal to be good. You can just play Eudora and just buff the version of 11 and splash maybe 3 Glorian for the control immunity. And for the Ely buff, it's not that impactful. Well, if in the early game you got Ely, you will feel better as you can use Ely as a carry. A lot of people are using Ely as carry in early game already when they don't have other good heroes. So yeah, this is a good change. Because I remember Ely's ability is already scaling, so it's scaling with a debuff and control effect. So if the enemy has 10 stack of debuff and control effect, which is pretty easy, you can double Ely's damage. But again, it's only in early game. Like in late game, she's not gonna compete with Eudora and stuff. Okay, let's move on to Glorians. So Ariana's ultimate damage has been increased, and that's pretty good. Ariana is kind of a OTK hero. So before she casts her ultimate, she will denotate her shield, and that's a lot of damage. And she's also getting a buff last patch, where the conversion rate of crit resist into attack is increased to from 1% to 3% on both of her ability. So if you can get her to 11 star or more, she will have a lot of attack. And now that her ultimate damage is getting buffed too, so they're making Glorian better for some reason. Yeah, but maybe Glorian is a bit weak in the season game mode. I don't know. Like if Glorian is weak in season game mode, then you should buff the seasonal Glorian synergy, not the base version, because Glorian is already dominating in the non-season game mode. So yeah, I don't know why they do this. I guess it's because they want to buff 2 heroes, one D&D and one non-D&D in every synergy. Yeah, I don't know why they like enforce this rule on themselves. Okay, so Carola's ultimate damage is increasing from, yeah, this is not that impactful because his Carola's problem isn't about damage, it's because she's worse than other Glorian heroes. So you are not going to play Carola because she's not as good as others. So you're never gonna play her. But I will say Carola's rune skill is actually interesting because her rune skill is actually a better version of Dahlia's. So Dahlia's rune skill is when Dahlia herself receives buffs, there's a chance to double it. And Carola's rune skill is when any ally receives buff, there's a chance to double it. So the chance is depending on the tier of the rune skill. Also, she increased the magic damage reduction for all allies. So yeah, Carola's rune skill is a way better version of Dahlia's rune skill, but unfortunately, since Carola is herself is really weak, it doesn't justify getting her exclusive rune. So yeah. Okay, let's move on to Avengers. Okay, they are buffing Althea. Interesting. So I think the Althea buff they did the last patch where every time a unit dies, she increased her max HP and attack by 15%. This one is already pretty good, and now they are increasing this effect even more. I feel like this will make her a little bit broken because she's already has great utility. So she has this effect where the revival effect of Avengers Synergy may take effect immediately instead of the next round. So this already makes her good. Now that on top of this effect, she will increase her max HP and attack by 50%, and this stacks up to 30 times. So 50% and 30 times, so it's 1,500 max HP and attack. So at max stack, she will have the power level of Dahlia. Yeah, when compared to Dahlia, this all seems fair because Dahlia just get it like without any condition. Yeah, so I feel like this is not needed, but compared to Dahlia, this also seems fair. But yeah, Althea is a lot better. I think now she's the strongest D&D Avengers. I would think she's better than Janna because Janna only increased her own attack. Oh, so Janna is also 50% and it's only 20 stack. So she's better than Janna. The only good thing about Janna is that can summon she can summon some units, these stranger units, so that this stranger unit will help her stack up. But now Althea is gonna be the better carry in the Avengers team. Yeah, so ideally you want both, but I would say Althea is better, especially because she helped Mavis. And Illyrians, the skill 3 has been enhanced and increased active damage dealt to frontline enemies by 375%. Okay, that's pretty significant, but I don't know if that's enough to make him good. So the thing is, I think they should change this one. When Illyrians deploy, he increased the Talon's max HP by 50%. This can be like 2,000, and it's not even broken because just look at like Althea and Dahlia. All of the so each time a unit die, Althea is increasing her max HP by 50%. And look at this one. Like if you deploy a relatively weak unit and it's just increasing Sally's max HP by 50%. So do you see the numbers? So yeah, says a lot about like team building. If you have Celine and you want to build an Avengers team, don't look at this one and say, "Oh, he has synergy with Celine." This is not synergy. This is just like a placebo. So yeah. Oh, and this one is Illyrian's active damage dealt to frontline enemy. It's not applying to all allies. So yeah, Illyrian is still bad. And for Doomsayer, there's Arishta and Athena. Oh, they are buffing Arishta. I don't think Arishta need that much of a buff. But okay, they're increasing her ultimate damage and her basic attack damage. Okay, there was a build that I thought about with Arishta. So you know that right now the PvP team is about Eudora, and Eudora is broken because she's a damage dealer with 116 speed, and that's faster than most carries. So now that Cleopatra is in the game, what we can do is we play Arishta as carry, and we have Serafina. So we can't have. We have to use the default skin. So since Serafina is gonna cast first, and Cleopatra is also at 126 speed, so Cleopatra will cast second, and Astrid will duplicate Cleopatra's buff, and the third unit that casts their ability is Arishta. So Arishta will have her ultimate getting buffed up and have a big like heart bomb on enemies. And if we're against some sort of Eudora team, this will act before Eudora, and hopefully this can work, especially after the buff for Arishta. So yeah, that's all the balance changes. So overall, Althea is broken right now. Dullahan is a lot better. So yeah, this is the most impactful one. And 11, I think if you have Eudora, you can get some copy of 11 from the Oracle shop. So these are the impactful ones. The other ones, you won't feel the difference as much. Oh, also another thing. So Leandra and Lee is getting added to Oracle Shop. So as expected, Leandra is free to play accessible. And she's actually really good in early game because she can apply Holy Shield to your team every round. And she also increased her attack by a flat amount. And flat stats is actually more impactful in early game, since in early game your base version of stats are low. Let me show you real quick. Okay, so this one, you notice that she's increasing her own attack by 5 million. It's not like 500% or something, it's 5 million. So in early game, this number, it will be more impactful than in late game. So yeah, so if you're at early game, maybe get Leandra. I don't know her priority compared to like Elmer, and we'll have to see if Elmer or like Astrid is more impactful. So in late game, obviously Astrid and Elmer will be more impactful, but maybe in early game she's actually better than them. Yeah, we'll have to test it out.